I saw a video of, I think it's an old video of Katikiro, Charles Peter Maiga, when he was talking about how people go and they have children. Namala okusana batandika okubeera nga bakobera abantu amasimu. Kati ngenda kuweereza ono mwana wange omulabirireko oba biti those people don't take care of their children batandika ne bakolima. Let me just give you a short preamble, right? I work with children. I work in the children's unit in the pediatrics department. Really, yeah. So I have seen very many cases, like a number of cases, by the way, where a parent comes like omwana nalwala nnyo, and they come to the hospital and you tell them this child is too sick, they need the ICU. I think so many times when you say things like the ICU, oxygen, parents basoka ne bawunga muko, which is very understandable because it means someone needs further support, not just ordinary medication. So you know that point of telling you ICU, meaning the child or the person needs the highest level of care. Now, the highest level of care is severely expensive, people. Even for us as health workers, it is very, 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 very expensive. You find that they're going to tell you, for example, let me tell you, you find like parents, like they tell them your child is so sick, they can't breathe on their own, they need the ICU care. Now, they ask you how much. The ICU ranges anywhere between 1 million to about 6 million per night, and you must make a deposit of anywhere between 1 million to 5 million instantly before you enter, and that is depending on the facility in which you're going. The higher the facility, in terms of the more private, the better services, the more expensive. The facilities which are like government, those mulago those ones, by the time you get a space there, like let me tell you, people can be in waiting to enter there, like you wait until you just die, then but they're trying to prioritize. Need space. No, the person also has to get well. They have to prioritize care. Now, you definitely cannot blame them because everyone has to prioritize what it is that they have to prioritize. Now you find someone comes, you tell them that is the price that they are charging. Because ICU is extremely expensive to maintain. The drugs, the machinery, the nursing, the staff, it has to be 24/7. So you find like we tell the parent, metaga ICU. Of course, I already think things are bad. Kati omuntu namugamba anywhere between 1 million to 6 million, depending on the facility. You go to nakugamba msanguze sina sente. Kati of course embeera ntegeera. Ebintu embeera sinungi, economy is tight. Namugamba, let me make a few phone calls and see if we can get space in Mulago. And Mulago, most of the times we call, the space isn't there because also then they are very overwhelmed. Kati now you find maybe private facilities aren't going to be available and they are expensive. Like ICU care is expensive. Healthcare is generally expensive. Then you find someone natandika nanyigira basawo, like you get annoyed with basawo, which I omuntu okunyiga, I don't have any problem with it because I understand grief. Like I understand grief, I understand pain, I understand that when someone is sick, like so all those things are coming from a place of pain. It's not really personal, it's pain. So again, natandika now you get into bichi, this person will just want money, what? But you see, the thing is, even us in hospitals, we are literally just workers, and the hospitals need money to run. So they can't give you free services unless they are government, and the government, it means that they are being funded by another person who is not the patient directly. The patient's taxes, yes, but not the patient directly. Now for private, you obviously have to pay for these services. Even for us, it's abnormally expensive. So are just magazine. Number one, you find people saying things like mbu ogenda zala di ofumbira di simani bichi di whatever di. Then you find a person, she's a young girl, you're 19, 20, 16, you're going to have a child, but you're going to trap a man. Simani, what are you trapping? You find you're just going to make someone's daughter pregnant and toina sente. Now, most people, I think, the assumption they be having is the person is going to deliver or she's going to get pregnant, or the girl herself assumes she's going to get pregnant, or the man assumes it will reach term, asindike, umwana azale, umama mwebeli. Let me tell you, things go west very quickly, like abruptly. You find the woman gets very sick during the pregnancy. She has to deliver early. There are mothers who end up in HDU, ICU because of pregnancy. I told you the prices. You find the mother has to deliver the baby early. Depending on how early you deliver, you go to a neonatal ICU. ICU minimum is between 300,000 to 1 million per day. That is without drugs. That is without professional fees. That is just space, depending on where it is that you go. I'm telling you that don't say that you didn't know. If you watch, you appreciate. If you don't, it is well. Then you go, and then they tell you you're going to be in the ICU. Baby is going to be in the ICU anywhere between 1 month to 3 months. You're paying minimum of 300,000 per day. That is without drugs, meaning as soon as you're going to be paying around 600,000 per day. Toina insurance, toina sente, byonna wabitunda ne biggwawo. Totalina wogenda osaba sente. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that life can happen. You can lose a partner, you can lose a job, you can lose support. Like, also like life can just happen. I'm not naive to that fact. But for as long as you're someone who is able to understand, we don't have to be wealthy, but we can plan. There's things like health insurance. Let us invest into health insurance, you people. Let us pray to God. I pray for people. I pray that we get partners who we can understand each other. Like, whereby we say, not these things of finding, I tell you, like, let's look into getting a health insurance plan to secure our future. When Ogamba, that is just wasting money. You may find you have like a lot of money right now. Ogenda tunula nchanga teziriwo. Ate money bakola nkola tezigenda bugenzi wezi. You're not going to keep it under the bed and you lock it there. Anyway, so my point is, with the economy that we have, things are already bad. Like, embedded already sinonji. Nenga tusoagezako in all the ways that we possibly can to plan better for our families. You find by the most people who you find they can afford these things in healthcare, they don't even have more money, which is there much like that, no? Like, rarely, I think I've seen a handful of people actually able to afford those things on their own, like, properly. Most people you find, it's insurance cover. So if you get a job that has insurance, thank God. If you don't, let us invest more in to find insurance like josobola. No biringa waliwo choteka. So if someone is sick, also ulafuno obuyambi. Not starting to be there or kuba masimu. By the way, I understand people's grief and people's rage during these times of muntasaka kugamba to no gamba, but really, honestly, I am just doing my best. Like, I've seen those things. I know the things grief does. You find someone comes, that Musawo killed my child, but to sindike mulagongo mana already wakufa, like omado mananga, you know how possess those things, muba sindika bante mulagonga, emberambi. No. Most hospitals which are private have the facilities that can handle. Just that most of them send to Mulago or to government facilities when you're not able to handle financially. Because when things get bad, they get very expensive. If you cannot afford the normal hospital stay, how are you going to afford proper facility stay? How will you afford the ICU? So then they make phone calls and send you there. That is why Paul will be saying that they send people to Mulago when things are bad. No. They send them there most of the times when you can't afford. Rarely will you find. There are a few things, for example, like Heart Institute, but even in a private facility, you can find that they can get the cardiologists to come. There are cardiologists who are assigned to the places, who work there, who can be called and they come and see. But if you can't afford, then someone has to send you where you can afford. So anyway, njagamba mbu twogera bubi, but aina amatwa jawulira ataina abireke, it is well. Netukole betusobola, tuzaala abaana betusobola. Mukama ajja tuyambako balabira naye naffe tusooke tugezeeko nga bwe tusobola. Tulina kubeera mugagga biri awo. But we can do the best we can. We can plan better. We can have partners nga twetegeera better. Ne tukola plans abaana baffe. Naye anyway, njagala nti omusawo ayogera bubi. Nsonyiwe mba nga njogedde bubi. That's not my intention. It just pains me when I see these things happening repeatedly. But God will take care of our children, so that is what we decide. It is well. Muzale mwale. It is well.